Applying the art of war to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Welcome to today's video, where we'll explore the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine from the perspective of The Art of War, an ancient Chinese military strategy and tactics book written by Sun Tzu. The Art of War has been widely read and applied in various fields, including business, politics, and sports, for its insights into strategy, tactics, and leadership. Let's see what lessons we can learn and apply to the Russia-Ukraine situation. Know yourself and your enemy. The Art of War emphasizes the importance of understanding your strengths and weaknesses, as well as those of your opponent. In the case of Russia and Ukraine, we can see that Russia has a more powerful military, a larger economy, and a stronger political influence than Ukraine. On the other hand, Ukraine has a more democratic government, a closer relationship with the West, and a stronger motivation to defend its sovereignty. By acknowledging these differences, both sides can tailor their strategies accordingly and avoid overconfidence or underestimation. Choose the right battlefield. The Art of War advises that you should choose the battlefield where you have the advantage, rather than where your opponent does. In the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that the battlefield is not only physical, but also economic, diplomatic, and informational. Russia has used various means, such as energy exports, cyber attacks, and propaganda, to pressure Ukraine and undermine its position. Ukraine, on the other hand, has sought support from the West, diversified its trade, and exposed Russian aggression. By leveraging their respective strengths and opportunities, both sides can gain the upper hand on the overall battlefield. Use deception and surprise. The Art of War teaches that deception and surprise can be effective tools to confuse and defeat your opponent. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have used various forms of deception and surprise, such as military maneuvers, hybrid warfare, and disinformation campaigns. For example, Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 caught many observers by surprise, and Ukraine's counteroffensive in Donbass in 2022 showed unexpected resilience. By mastering the art of deception and surprise, both sides can gain tactical advantages and psychological leverage. Adapt and innovate. The Art of War advises that you should be flexible and adaptable and that you should innovate new ways to gain an advantage. In the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have faced unexpected challenges and opportunities, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, the energy transition, and the changing geopolitical landscape. By adapting to these changes and innovating new approaches, both sides can stay ahead of the curve and avoid being outmaneuvered. Protect your supply lines. The Art of War emphasizes the importance of protecting your supply lines and ensuring that your troops are well-fed, well-equipped, and well-supported. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have relied on various supply lines, such as pipelines, railways, and ports, to sustain their military and civilian needs. By securing these supply lines and disrupting the enemy, both sides can gain a significant advantage in the conflict. Know when to fight and when to retreat. The Art of War teaches that you should know when to fight and when to retreat, and that you should never fight a battle you cannot win. In the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have engaged in various battles, both military and non-military, and have sometimes retreated or regrouped when faced with overwhelming odds. By knowing when to fight and when to retreat, both sides can conserve their resources and avoid unnecessary losses. Control the narrative. The Art of War advises that you should control the narrative and shape the perceptions of your opponents and allies. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have used various means, such as propaganda, social media, and public diplomacy, to influence the opinions of domestic and international audiences. By controlling the narrative and shaping the discourse, both sides can gain psychological leverage and advance their strategic objectives. Form alliances and coalitions. The Art of War teaches that you should form alliances and coalitions with like-minded allies and partners and that you should isolate and weaken your enemies. In the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have sought to form alliances and coalitions with other countries and organizations, such as NATO, the EU, and the UN. By leveraging the support of allies and partners, both sides can strengthen their position and weaken the position of their opponents. Engage in asymmetric warfare. The Art of War suggests that if you are weaker than your opponent, you should engage in asymmetric warfare, which means using unconventional or unexpected tactics that exploit your opponent's weaknesses or vulnerabilities. In the context of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that Ukraine has used asymmetric warfare tactics, such as guerrilla warfare, sabotage, and drone strikes, to target the Russian military and infrastructure. By using these tactics, Ukraine can inflict damage on Russia while avoiding confrontation, which it is unlikely to win. Maintain morale and discipline. The Art of War stresses the importance of maintaining morale and discipline among your troops, as well as among the civilian population. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have tried to bolster their morale and discipline through various means, such as propaganda, social media, and military parades. By maintaining high morale and discipline, both sides can boost their effectiveness and deterrence, and avoid being demoralized by setbacks or losses. Focus on the endgame. The Art of War emphasizes the importance of having a clear and achievable goal, and focusing on the endgame rather than getting bogged down in the details. In the case of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, we can see that both sides have different endgames in mind, such as Russia's desire for regional hegemony and Ukraine's desire for sovereignty and territorial integrity. By focusing on their respective endgames, Both sides can prioritize their efforts and resources and avoid getting sidetracked by irrelevant issues or distractions. In conclusion, The Art of War provides timeless wisdom and practical insights that can be applied to various contexts, including the Russia-Ukraine conflict. By using these tactics, both sides can increase their chances of success and minimize their losses. We hope this video has been informative and thought-provoking. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.